Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video at the Gaming Bros. And I'll just like to say on this one, well, thank you for the support on the video talking about wrestling, and I never thought it would work, you know, talking about how the blood was real and all the stuff I went through, so, a lot of people have been asking a few other questions on different parts of wrestling, and I thought if I do a sort of video and a little talks about my character that was in it, and the theme songs I used, and basically the all the stuff with the politics that is real in the wrestling. Probably anything else you can think of to ask, I will talk about. Straight away, yeah, the blading was real, and thank you, Jeff, for me and Miss Smiley for your concerns about when, I cut my head and shown it and started to bleed. And as soon as I mentioned that after the video, it bled a bit more, and it was like, ooh. It's nice to see that they're worried about me, but at the same time, it's like, they understood that I knew what I was doing and was used to it. Let me just say one thing. I haven't done this in 7 years. I haven't bladed my head in 7 years. So, in a way, it was difficult. And, yeah, it hurt-ish. It's like, say for example, you get a cat scratch. It hurts for a bit, and it's like nothing. However, you do feel when the blood does trickle. You feel it going down your head, and once it gets, into facial hair, it's tickling, and it does irritate as well. But yeah, characters I had during wrestling. Well, started off with Psycho Dan. I don't know why. I didn't choose this name. This is something that they choose for me. But eventually I came up with my name as Crazy Dan because I was crazy at the time. So basically, that was my first character during my time when I first got injured and first started to bleed at the age of 7. And I had the name of Psycho Dan when I first started. The owner was like, yeah, okay, well, you're mad in the ring. We'll call you Psycho Dan. I was like, didn't know better, so I went along with it. And then when I went to the other company, it's like a big thing, isn't it? I went to the other little group I went to that was run by somebody who just didn't like me and thought, you're from that rapist group. And I was like, nah. To clarify, yes, there was a lot of shit going on during that little group. I had nothing to do with it because I was 7, so that's why I left at 10, because I saw some stuff happening that I didn't really like. I don't really want to explain what happened because it was very disgusting and horrible. But I left when it got worse, where there was like these 16-year-old lads and 15-year-old lads, working with us, and they were getting, let's say, very young girls down dark alleyways, and I decided I didn't want anything to do with that. Plus, it was just getting too much in that group. There was drugs in there, and they were trying to force kids to take drugs, and I was like, nope. So I went off to the other group. So that's the true thing behind that. And a lot of stuff does happen in even bigger wrestling shows. There's a lot of sex scandals, there's a lot of rape, there's also sexual assault stuff going on, and there's all kinds of stuff, and a lot of it gets hidden, but a lot of it has to be hidden because of court of law, and some of them are not really willing to open up about the stuff that happened. And from seeing it from being in that group was not a good idea. But I took the positive from that I never went down that road and went to somewhere else and got nothing but shit. As soon as I went through there, they were going to use my name, Psycho Dan, but they said, well, we don't want that. We don't want some psychopath here. You're useless anyway. So they went, there's a simple Crazy Dan, and I was like, well, that's the name I was going to choose anyway. I had it written down before. So they accepted that. Went along with that, and then, you know, in the other video that should be already up by now, which, yeah, guaranteed it will be up, where I talked about the father-son storyline sort of thing. I didn't have my father at the time, but they used this character who was always drunk and, you know, literally took it to the point where he eventually found out he had alcohol poisoning and a brain tumour. He knocked his head silly and, yeah, died. So, you know, that was a sad day for me for experiencing that at the age of 12. And then I was thrown out of the company. Then I went to this other one, which was run a little bit better, and the guy who was there was also a booker sort of person who was like, well, you're doing this tonight. And I didn't really recognise him, and he just sat there and went, right, I know who you are. Let's go and build up your character and what you want to be. And he was like, let's screw this Crazy Dan stuff. You know, we want to try and start something new. And I was thinking, well, I like skateboarding at this time. Now skateboarding is behind me and I don't really do it. But anyway, at this time I was like 13, 14, getting into skateboarding. And he was like, Skater Boy Dan, and that was as simple. And I was like, yep. And he, you know, said, "Oh, just bring in whatever music you like, and we'll play it at the, you know, shows." Still to this day, I'm a big fan of Avril Lavigne, and I used her one of the best songs I've ever heard from her, "Skater Boy," and I used that as my entrance theme. Everyone enjoyed it. I had quite a fan following at that time, 30 to 40 people in the crowd, and it was like, yeah, they were singing the song along as well as me going down the ring as a skater boy, and I used to take the skateboards, you know, skate to the ring and use the skateboard as a weapon. That was fun. And then when it was turned on me, where basically they used the actual skateboard on myself, they didn't know how to use it properly to hit. I knew what I was doing when it was just like clunk, you hit it with the black part of the board. They thought, oh well, we're going to use the wheel side of the board. Ooh, hits me with the wheel part. Fuck, that actually hurts. Then we moved on to, I was sort of wanting to get out of that skater boy character, but I sort of thought about it and went, well, we'll keep a skater boy down for now. And then it was like me and this other guy were running around backstage, and we were creating havoc as, you know, young teenagers, and we was just so like, we were taking over basically, and it was like we were just sitting there, and the guy was, you know, noticed us, you know, and we had a lot of fun with it, and we were sitting there playing the "I Pretend to Riot" song by, oh fuck, this sounds so bad, I forget who does it, but people in the comment section can put it, Kaiser Chiefs or something like that, I think they were called. Anyway, we were just playing that song quite loudly before we went to a match, and we used to jog, you know, throw things at people, you know, and push open, you know, toilets to the girls' locker room, and, you know, it's like, oh, hello, and we were just running around doing funny shit, like DX, but we were just over the top, Welsh version. We come up with the idea that it will be me and this guy from Manchester. He was a DJ, he could mix a load of crap. And there's a friend of mine that came from Port Talbot down in Swansea. He sadly isn't with us, but he was the one that really was getting into it and wanted to get noticed, and he just couldn't get over enough. And I thought, well, okay, well, we need something here. So between me, which his name was Shano, yeah, he's a big fan of Shane McMahon, let's just say that. But, you know, he had his name, Shano, and, you know, still Skater Boy Dan, and then we had DJ Man with us, and it was like, okay, well, let's go with it. You know, sat there, talked with the boss, and he was like, create havoc in the ring, create a good storyline, do it. And I was like, okay, let's go ahead and be the... Because at first we were just going to be calling the particular Riot team, and they were, you know, and then DJ Man was like, nah, I can't have that. Shano, being the young start, said, how about just the Riot Squad? And it was like, and we were known as the Riot Squad, and yeah, we became the Riot Squad, and it was like, go from there, being that, we were just hellions, we just got on with it, went out, caused havoc, and we were like the DX and NWO at the time in the UK, and we were just having fun out there and kicking ass. Then things went like that. DJ Man wanted to leave and do DJ stuff, and he had a falling out with financial issues that he wasn't getting paid enough. None of us were, but tough shit on that. Shano was the one that stuck around for a bit, but he wanted to go solo. And I was like, okay. And he had the idea that when DJ Man left, he wanted to become this heel character for some reason he could never get over. But when he was part of the Riot Squad, it was like, you know, when he was part of the Riot Squad, it was like, okay, you know, he was getting the following because he was with me and an unknown wrestler that was just mad. He decided that, okay, well, we're going to do something where Shane just said, I'm going to, you know, beat you up. And people should follow it. And gratitude, he did do that. And at the same time, he was trying to sign a contract with a wrestling company down in his area that were paying money. Basically, I think they were called Pro Wrestling of Wales or something like that. No point googling it doesn't exist anymore, but something to do with that. He wanted to go with that, and he wanted to try and make it big, and he wanted to try and do what WCW and WWF were doing, fighting each other basically. So he went off and decided to do that. He couldn't do the heel character really well. He hit me, tried to beat me up and saying, I'm stuck in your shadow, and everyone wasn't buying it. He fucked off to the other company, try to make that big, which got me very irate and pissed off. That he fucked everything up for just to go off to another place and didn't leave where he said he was going to leave, make himself the biggest heel, so that when we do the storyline or fighting each other's show, it would be, you know, it would have looked great, but it failed on so many levels. So then I was sitting there with the owner, and he said, well, what are we going to do now? And I was like, well, I'm going to go to my hardcore roots, and I'm going to go with my middle name. And he was like, how would Hardcore Michael work? And I was like, no, the other one. I was like, Hardcore Michael could work. And I was like, well, yeah, but then I'll be, you know, associated with Michael Myers, the serial killer, but a hardcore way. I'm like, nah. Hardcore Lee sort of rolls off the tongue. So we went with that, and that's the character I stayed with until the end of when I retired 7 years ago. Fuck, I'm old. yeah, then we went through that storyline where we were going to fight his group. He went down there and he ruined it basically, and the amount of stuff that he was saying on their program, he never had the balls to say it to my face, but he was saying a lot of shit about me on there. And as soon as I found out about it, I was questioning about it. It's like, how dare you never fucking talk to me about this? And you know, you should talk about things before you actually start mouthing off. And people are gonna come back to me and saying, "Oh, you're saying this shit," and I don't know fuck all about it. I was like, "Oh, I wasn't saying nothing," and I called him out. Someone sent me the videotapes, and I was like, "Come on, be a man and fucking tell me what you feel." And he was like, and he just basically, fuck you, and he went back to his show. And they started to take the piss. Basically, they were trying to do shows in the same area. So, say for example, we were in a fucking horrible, shitty, village hall or something. They will be in some place not far down the road or so, or they'll be actually in, doing outside stuff, or being quite near. And there was one place that we had that was like a village hall and a sports hall, and they were doing the sports hall because they could afford it. We were in the shitty village hall. They would just be fucking taking all our fans over there, and it's like, they were trying to, put us under. So I thought, this is just cheap. And I thought, right, you know what, I'm going to walk over to their show. This one time where I was really annoyed. This was not planned or anything, even though we were supposed to be doing this invasion angle where we're supposed to be attacked by this group and they would be fighting backwards and forwards to create some more money for the group. But I just got fed up with the way they were playing it. They weren't coming across to attack. They were just playing against our venue, taking our fucking audience, being on a bit earlier. And so I just walked over there, went out to their ring, and said, Shane, you've got some fucking balls to keep putting your shows next to mine. Why don't you come over to my ring and I'll fucking prove to you what's the best wrestling show going in Wales. And hey, he wasn't there. What a surprise. And then apparently that made his show, and as soon as I walked out the door, and I was like, if you want to watch some real hardcore extreme wrestling, come across the road to the village hall with plenty of seats and you can watch anything you want to watch, instead of this pathetic professional pussy wrestling. That's what I called it. We just went out, and when they were recording it and I was watching the tapes back, they literally left that arena like fucking handful, just went straight out, and we got a good sellout. That stabbed him in the back and got pissed off, irritated, or whatever the word is. And yeah, he got retaliated. His owner got retaliated. They were going to try and sue me for taking their stars, and they're trying to sue my owner or manager of the show. And it was like, can't do fuck all because we ain't got the money for that shit. So then the invasion started. They started coming over to our show and attacking us. We kept going over to theirs and attacking them. Basically, to the point where it got to the point where they were losing money, and we were losing money as well. But it got to the point that they couldn't afford to run as much as we could. We just got them bailed out and bought their company, and we got eventually. We made Shano pack his bag and go and stay down in Port Talbot and stay away from us. He was not allowed anywhere near our wrestling arenas. We actually had it all signed and done with. And he really got out of this whatever rut he was in, and then started trying to apologise, and he wanted to come back, and he decided that even though we were still fighting, and I was like, okay, well, I'll think about bringing you back. You have to apologise to my face. And he didn't show up that one time when he was supposed to come. And the next thing, weeks later, he was found hung in his bedroom. So, yeah, that was never a good start. taken out the company, and he actually hangs himself. Oh, no. The news of that was bad. But, yeah, they were my main characters and the main shit we went through backstage. Fighting with each other, other groups, and money financially wasn't there. And obviously with some of the shows, not with, with ours eventually, they were trying to get some health and safety officials in because of all the incidents that we were having. They wanted to minimise the injury, so they wanted us to not use the glass cage matches anymore that we already were known for, which annoyed us. And they wouldn't let me stay as champion, and wouldn't let me go into the heavyweight tournament, and they were kept on throwing me out of the rumbles and all that. And they were putting these fucking steroid idiots as main eventers and being champions because they look good, and I was like, it was annoying, and to the point where we weren't even allowed to do much. That's how bad it got with the politics. I was like, look, fans want me back as champion, get the storyline sorted, and they were like, no, you ain't got the look, you ain't got fuck all. And I was like, I've got talent, I'm a fucking entertainer, and these people watching are paying to watch me become champion. And it's confusing that 1 minute I was champion and the next they just rip it from me from this fucking big steroid up bastard. It was not on, and quite a lot of times a lot of people talk about the politics backstage, and yeah, it's all true. My experience with it from day one was, you're too fat, you're not healthy, you're not looking good, no, you ain't got your time for belts, you're just a depressing, we'll keep you down on the cards. It's like, no. It was fucking horrible. Especially one time where I was like, look, I'm resting my ass off here, I'm bleeding like shit, you're not paying me anything, I want a championship. And all the shit she will get from them is, no, you're not ready, or no, your character's not working with the group, you're too fat. And it was just fucking little nitpicky things like that, and I was really annoyed with it half the time. It's, once these big-headed people come in, like, no, you gotta have these people, you can't fucking throw yourself through glass. Hey, people pay to see that shit. I'm willing to put my body on the line, I'm willing to put it through glass, I would do it. They even got to the point where when we used to do chair hits, they would soften the fucking chairs, pad them up. I was like, what is going on? This looks like baby wrestling. Baby Admiral. Do you see Chris? Inside joke for the Star Trek thing that we're doing. But anyway, yeah, it was stupid, and the storylines for one lad in it who was very high flying, he came up with the idea that he would be Spider Kid. He used to do these massive flips and God knows anything. And he done his Hurricane Run off the roof of a house as part of our old entrance. Threw a load of wood, won his first cruiserweight bout. Since then, they were just like, no, you're going to be Lucha Libre, man. And he was like, oh, I'm not Mexican. And he's like, don't bother, you wear a mask, fuck it. And they made him Lucha Libre, man. And they played him down so crap that he would just do some moonsaults and fucking Hurricane Runs in the ring. They wouldn't allow him to do crazy shit that I've allowed him to do with Mysterio. Not Rey Mysterio. We had a character called Mysterio, or Mystery. No, Mystery. He was named after a mysterious cat. Oh yeah. I was found at my grandparents' garden. He used to swear, and this guy was the same. He was like swearing at me. He's like, "Fuck you! I want a belt." And I was like, "Okay," but no. So yeah, that's the politics backstage, where you get called fat, you're useless, you can't do nothing, and it does get into your head that, oh, maybe I am. But when I came head storyline writer during that time, I thought I was doing pretty good. You know, still being a wrestler, and I was doing all the storylines. So I was like, well, I reckon you two have this feud where blah blah blah, it goes this long and that, and it's gonna end like. And the positive feedback I got off them wrestlers who would sit there and think, okay, well, you're facing you tonight, and this is your storyline plan. You're gonna have this feud, and it's gonna be epic. I used to sit with every wrestler before they do their shows and help them with their storylines. Just go, well, this is gonna happen, and then the next night you'll be going through this storyline. And it was like the positivity came out of that. They said we could never think of anything like that. The fans took it and they were like, really enjoyed it. And I should have been a storyline writer, but the wrestling didn't last long, and it kind of went bankrupt, and I never got my chance to actually be a full-time storyline writer. So I done YouTube where I'd be acting a complete idiot, which I feel was a lot more safer than running around cutting my head open to bleed and breaking my body for no reason other than entertainment. So I can entertain in a safe way, and the only thing I can get bad out of this is probably headaches and migraines of constant recording and editing, and probably voice strain eventually with all the talking I've got to do, and talking and talking in incredibly long sentences. That was from Star Trek. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you want to ask anything else about my wrestling career or anything in my past, even ask questions for GC Chris, we'll see if we can sort it out. Hit that comment section below and just feel it like shit, and we'll probably read your comment and go, okay, well, this is the answer to that, and yes. Anyway, if you enjoyed, thumbs up on the video, helps the channel grow, subscribe if you haven't already, share this on your social media, and as always, enjoy. See you in the next video. The Game of Bro fans. I don't know if Yoda that, didn't I? Fuck that. I think it works. No. And as always, enjoy. And we'll see all you, the Game Bro fans, in the next one. Ta-ta.